All right, all right, all right. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's surviving the chaos that is social distancing. Let's see how many times they can knock me out tonight. Last week it was 3. Let's see if we can beat that. Okay, so here's my game plan. Now, a lot of you guys, I know you follow Ed. I know I'm live. I'm talking, so you're gonna be up my butt now. I gotcha. You're good. You good. Hi guys. A lot of you guys follow Ed, and I'm just gonna start out and say the two of us have very different ideas about things. We have very different views. We have very different political views, spiritual views, all of that kind of stuff. So depending on how you guys are, which I have no idea, a little bit of the stuff I'm going to talk about a little bit later on is going to be a little bit crazy. Hi, Cameron. My son Cameron is in the chat. Everybody should check out his channel. He just started it up. He only has one video right now, but he's definitely going to be, yes, Smitty, I can take their punch. He's definitely going to be going places with his channel, and all of my contributions from my channel go to support him and what he's trying to do on his channel. So you guys should check him out. I'm not sure what his name is. I think it's just Cam Wise. So CAMWISE. But, go check him out. Show him some love. Get his channel going. It takes a lot to get going on this platform. It's going to be just video gaming. It's going to be streaming video game live stuff. So, back to my point. My views are a little bit different. The people that I follow on YouTube are a little bit off the normal path, off the beaten path, I guess you would say, as far as their approach to things, their different views on things, how they view everything that's going on, how they view life, how they view ways to handle different things and things like that. And I also want to let you guys know, if I get knocked down, I will get back up again. So just wait a few seconds and I'll get myself back on if they do knock me down. So let's start off with some negativity. Clearly, let's talk about all of this nonsense that's going on, since it's been a while since I've done a video. And then we're going to end on a positive note. But bear in mind, guys, I am going to be kind of shedding some light on some alternative ideas, per se, on everything that I'm going to be talking about, based on the research I've been doing over the past week, listening to other people's opinions, views, people who are very well versed in different aspects of things. So I just want to throw that out there as if you think I'm a little cray-cray, then, to each their own, I guess. So what is the bigger picture with all of this? Because we know that it's not always the way that it seems, right? Nothing's ever the way that it seems, and it's multifaceted, like I've said several times. So there's layers upon layers upon layers. So this one thing may do this one thing. This other thing may do this another thing. So there's always a bigger picture to everything. So everybody's been talking about these arrests that are supposed to be going on of the deep state. Despite what anybody thinks about T-Man, despite what anybody thinks about any of that kind of stuff that's going on, let's sit back and think about it logically. Why would they go ahead and disperse all of these troops to all different parts of the world? It's not just here in the US. But why would they disperse all of these troops all over the place if there wasn't something else going on? Why are they also, I didn't say you were lost. You're not lost. I just said we had different views, Ed. They're dispersing these troops all over the world, okay? So with that being said, they're not giving them masks. They're not giving them PPE equipment. They're not giving them all of these things that everybody else is being said to use and to do. And let's take that into consideration, okay? Can you stop sniffing at the bunny before I get my rolled up newspaper out? Let's not go there. Sorry, guys. So, oh, okay. I get it now, Robert. I was like, you're not lost. We just have different views. There's also these reports of these major military individuals going into underground bunkers, supposedly. Now, let me make this point very clear. Everybody can have differing opinions, right? Everybody can have different ideas. Everybody can take different bits of information from other platforms, other people, do research on their own, and come up with a totally different conclusion than the person sitting right next to them that's doing the exact same things. So, is any of this actually going on? I don't know. I'm sure you absolutely don't know. The only way that we can definitively know what's going on is if we are in a hospital. Excuse me. Hold on a second, guys. Oh, yeah, rolled up newspaper. It's happening. Go lay down. Right now. Sorry. It works great. Don't even have to touch him. Just get it out, and he lays right down. Lay down. Good grief. Okay. Now. He's looking at me like, I think I'm going to try it. Yeah, no, you're not. So we can all take different things and come up with different things. So unless you are physically in the hospital room with the individual that's sick, notice how I say sick, and they pass away, and you did the test, and you read the test, and you confirmed amongst yourself that that's actually what they died from, how do any of us actually know? We're going off of information that medical professionals have given to us, which brings me to my next point. Wasn't it not too long ago that they were saying, you don't have to social distance. You don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to wear gloves. And now they're like, social distance, mask, gloves, all of this stuff going on in the grocery stores. We're being fed all sorts of different information from all these different places, and people are taking it as fact. When in reality, nobody really knows. Right. What do they write in the death certificate? Well, they're writing that regardless of what the death was, from what I hear. Now, again, this is all speculation because everything is speculation. And it's not just having to do with this. Think about anything else that goes on. How much speculation, miscommunication, misinformation comes out? You know, every time with anything, it's always different stuff and nobody actually knows what the heck is going on, right? So to that point, we don't for sure know. So we're taking it as what they're telling us, which is scary. The fact that these people are so asleep and not looking in themselves, looking at themselves, and going, what do I really think about this? What kind of conclusion? Because that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what everybody else says. It matters about what your conclusion is based on the information and the research that you've done. And at this point in time, we all have the time to be able to do the research, right? And to gather the information and to come to our own conclusions. And isn't that the basis of life anyway? To take experiences, because I could have a different experience than I could have the exact same experience that Ed had. And he's going to reflect on that experience in a totally different way than I'm going to reflect on it because it's all done at the self level as yourself. So we have to be keeping that in our minds, and not even in the back of our minds, at the front of our minds, when we are looking at anything in the world around us. Because what it's doing to one person might not necessarily be what's happening to another person. So that's all I wanted to say as far as that specific thing. Don't think Big Brother is listening. I mentioned Amtrak, and now they're down to 2 cars, and people are spaced 5 seas apart. Well, it's all being rolled out little by little by little. Wuhan laboratory accident or planned event. Now, I've heard both ways on that. So, what's your opinion on it? Because my opinion is probably going to be way different than your opinion is. Which is going to bring me, and I'm going to get through all of this. It's going to take me a hot minute. This may go until 9:30. I'm not sure yet. But there is a reason, a bigger reason. There is something else going on besides this virus. And let's point that out. At the beginning of all of this, T-Man, the man in charge, kept saying that it was this, right? Now it's the invisible enemy. And he's always very clear when he says invisible enemy or the V word. That's, well, Tubular, they've been doing that for years and years and years and years and years. So why hasn't anything like this blown up around the globe previously? Because that's a regular occurrence. That's something that's been going on in those kind of markets forever. Because that's how they make their money. If they can take the unused animals that they don't need anymore for their testing and sell them for human consumption and make more money off of it, why not do it, right? Everything in this world is always consumed around money. Right. But was it ever a shutdown, Tubular? An entire globe shutdown? No. You heard about it. You heard about the cases. You heard about all of it. But it never shut everything down. When in the world that any of us have been living, and I know most of you guys are a little bit older than myself, have you heard of everything in the United States being shut down? It's never happened. Never happened. But that's just where I'm sitting at with it. So your opinion is your opinion, and I'm just presenting a different way to look at things, a different picture, a different set of fresh eyes. Exactly, North Shore. So this is unprecedented what is occurring. So there's something more to it. There's a reason they want us in our homes. They don't want us out in public. They don't want us around other people. There is a bigger reason for it. Now, there has also been talk of darkness, days of darkness. A lot of people read into it as biblical prophecy. A lot of people talk about it as complete shutdown of the internet, telephone, electricity for 10 days. It's going to be crazy. Everybody's got to be prepared for this, which that's why I started prepping about a year ago. I just had this feeling that something was going to happen, and I need to have some, not massive amounts, but needed to have some extra food and water on hand because something's coming. Now, I have heard so many different reports. I have heard it's going to be 10 days and it's going to be a total shutdown of everything. I have heard it's going to be 5 to 7 days and it's going to be a total shutdown of everything. The newest information I'm getting from different sources, and I've had 3 or 4 of them that are saying it's 3, and it's only going to be the internet and phone services. You'll still be able to call 911. You'll still be able to call fire departments, things like that. 3 days. during that, and it's supposed to be occurring supposedly, and I don't like putting timelines on anything at all, nothing at all. But it's supposed to be occurring before the 12th, which we all know what day the 12th is. Yes, Bill, 3 phones and internet. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to why that could be happening. Is it to debug the system? There's been a lot of reports of, the algorithms not working properly on different platforms, and it's not picking up on, the information as it used to be. So are they taking it down so they can get rid of all of that and then bring it back up so that it's free again the way that it was intended to be? Or is something else going on with it? I don't know. I'm just a presenter of the information, a presenter of a side of the story, and letting you come to your own conclusions as far as what you think is relevant, based on what you're gathering from it. In my opinion, I think it's what I said to begin with. They're debugging the system. Year after year after year since the internet has come out, since cell phones have skyrocketed from a flip phone to a smartphone to, smartwatches and all of that kind of stuff, they have continuously been adding tracking software, algorithms, artificial intelligence, all of that kind of stuff to it. So, if it goes down, are they? Well, we're already bugged, Smitty. Every single appliance that we have in our house, that's new. I've even heard lamps have, the smart light bulbs. That, remember how they were pushing for the smart light bulbs and the ones that are like spirally that you screw in? Those are supposed to have a bug in them to listen. Not a microphone, not a video camera, just a microphone. Yeah, everything is bugged now. So, but it's connected to the cloud, right? All of that information is gathered and sent here, on the internet where they can track it and know who's saying what and doing what. Heck, I even heard the other day, somebody reporting about laser beams, that they can point invisible laser beams, and they can pick up on the vibrations in your home to pick up on your conversation. Crazy stuff. Do I know if that's accurate? I don't know. It's just something that I heard somewhere, so I don't know. I haven't had enough time to kind of wrap my head around that entire thing. Right. It is an electric arc. So, is this darkness that everybody's been talking about, going to be a takedown of all of that craziness? Now, I don't know how I feel because everybody's trapped in their homes right now, right? We're all under social isolation. A lot of us are on stringent stay at home orders. Some of us, not so stringent, depending on where you live and things like that. But yes, North Shore Preparedness, there is technology in everything. It may not look like it has technology in it, and I guarantee you it does. You take it apart, and there's a mic in there. A bug. Predictive programming. I'm going to go back to that all the time because they always have to tell us ahead of time before they do anything. So, how many movies over the past decade, have been about people pulling apart picture frames or lamps or something because they hear a buzz noise and there's a hidden microphone and they're underneath their desks? It's preparing you for the fact that they're now building these things into the technology that we're using every day. Alexa listens to everything, right? How many hundreds of thousands of people have an Alexa in their home? Or something similar to it. They have off-brand Alexas now. How many people have that in their home? That's an audio recording device. I don't. My daughter had one. I was like, get that thing out of here. Pooping Android. Yes, you can use lasers to listen into homes. This is not new info. You read the reflection of no because of vibration. Yes. Okay, so that makes sense. It's just, and the biggest problem is a lot of people are like, that's crazy. They don't do that because they can't understand it. They can't understand that those are things that they would want to do, that they are doing. We've been programmed. Every single one of us, since a very young age, has been programmed to believe certain things, programmed to think a certain way, programmed to follow the rules and follow the law. Well, whose law? Why did you put that law into order? Who is that protecting? Is that protecting me, or is that protecting you from a riot? This has been going on our entire lives, and we need to break free from that crap. We need to start being what we were meant to be all along. Free thinkers, free thought, the ability to do I think the shutdown will happen? I absolutely think the shutdown will happen. It's coming. I have been repeatedly watching 12 plus hours of videos on some very well-established individuals who are saying this is coming. Now, is it going to happen by the day that they're saying? I don't know. But it's coming. Yes. I mean, and they've been preparing us for it, just like everything else. They can't just come out, okay, and shut everything down and expect everybody not to go, wah! You know what I mean? But if they're taking the internet and the phones out for a couple of hours here and there sporadically over a year, people are just like, my internet went out. You know, happens all the time. It'll be back. That's what they've been doing, in my opinion. In my opinion. I'm always going to say in my opinion. They have been predictively programming us for a shutdown as well. Slowly in little bits, taking the internet down, taking the electricity down. There may be some areas I did hear. Tubular, I think we're actually talking about the internet and the phones, not the actual virus itself. We're talking about something totally different. The takedown, I don't think, has anything to do with the virus. From my understanding, from the information I've been researching all week, it doesn't have anything to do with the virus. It has to do with whatever the bigger picture is of using the virus as a cover story, essentially, to get us where we are right now in our homes. And in my opinion, safe. We're safe in our homes, right? Especially as preppers, there's been a great awakening. I mean, if you go out and you talk to people are starting to wake up, you know? People have been waking up, but it's been a lot more since all of this happened. So I think people are more prepared, and we're safe in our homes. We are prepared with food and water. We're prepared with shelter. We're prepared with everything that we need. A lot of us are prepared with weapons to defend ourselves in case there are riots. So it's to protect us from whatever it is that's going to be happening. I don't know what's going to be happening. I have some theories, and you guys will probably all think I'm crazy, so I'll keep them to myself. That's just how I am. I don't want to start spewing off the kind of stuff that I tell Brian, and then he's like zones me right out because he doesn't even want to listen to me. So, do I think it will happen everywhere at once in the United States? That's a really good question, and I honestly have no idea. When these couple of individuals that I was obtaining this information from were discussing it, they didn't really clarify as to whether it's supposed to be worldwide, from my understanding. But I don't know. I don't know how individuals in the United States would react to 3 days of darkness. And I say darkness as in not that we're not going to have light and heat or air conditioning or whatever. But I mean 3 days of no internet. Can you imagine how, what is this called? Generation Z, the kids nowadays? Can you imagine how they're going to react with 3 days without internet? Oh my goodness. They're going to go crazy because that's all they know. They need to break free from that. We all need to break free from it. Because what's going to happen when we don't have the internet and we don't have our phones to be on continuously? Self awareness, learning about ourselves, finding ourselves, reconnecting to ourselves. And that is the biggest thing that this rat race of a society has taken us away from. Yeah, education, learning new skills. Even though we're all stuck at home, what are we all doing? We're all like on our phone all day. Not me. I'm up here educating myself, watching other YouTubers who have millions of subscribers, who have been doing this for 30, 40 years. Who've written books, who've researched, have all of this information from all these valuable resources. That's what I've been doing with my time. But not everybody is doing that. You know how society is. People are in front of their televisions. People are on their phones. They're not taking the time to learn things. And I think 3 days of darkness is going to be amazing. Can you imagine not having internet or telephone? The things that you can learn. Smitty, that's funny. So he said, funny how I just got notified by my cell phone service provider that they're offering 10 gigabytes of hotspot. Yeah, even the hotspot isn't going to work in my opinion. I don't think so. I think it would be amazing to have these 3 days. Valerie, bet people are learning how to cook, LOL. Well, no, they're not. I think they're just spending most of their time going to McDonald's or Burger King or Arby's because that's what they've always done. So instead of taking the time and going to actually learn how to cook for themselves, they're like, I'll just go through the drive-thru. Yeah, learn how to cook your preps or learn how to make something from scratch, right? How many of us open up a box and cook dinner from it? A lot. Do you know how to make bread from scratch? Do you know how to can your own vegetables? Those are important skills. Those are things that we should be learning during this time because not only is it going to be beneficial now, but it's going to be beneficial forever. Those skills do not go away. They're not going to just disappear. And it's not like you're never going to use them again. You can always use them. My mother used to make bread. She taught me how to make bread. I need to get back into making my own bread because it's super fun. I mean, she would literally mix up the dough and then she would set it behind the wood stove and let it rise for a day. And I couldn't wait. I'd be by the wood stove. I'm like, is it time to make the bread yet? And she's like, no, it's not time. So, I mean, I learned a lot of those skills from my mother, and I have to thank her for teaching me a lot of the things because I would be a lot like most people in their 20s and 30s who don't know those essential skills that are needed. But because my mother was very stringent upon me learning different things, I was able to learn them and use them. And I have them as knowledge in order to be able to better my family, better myself, better my community if I need to. I can make a whiskey bottle go empty. Ew, whiskey. Okay, so let's talk about, because I went way too long into that whole thing. Let's talk about the testing for this thing, right? So I already said this in a previous video or maybe in a previous live stream about the way they test for it. So it's farther back, right? Way back here. But it's the same concept as a flu swab, right? So stick it in your nose and then take it. What are you getting from there? How do you diagnose every other illness, respiratory, just respiratory illnesses? How do you diagnose pneumonia? You listen to somebody's lungs. How do you diagnose bronchitis? You listen to somebody's lungs. So if this is truly, in fact, an upper respiratory system that's causing issues breathing, why are you swabbing their nose? Crickets? You don't need to swab their nose. You need to listen to their lungs. The only thing you're getting from swabbing somebody's nose is their DNA. Because how do they do a DNA test? They swab the inside of your cheek, where your cells are. What's back here at the top of your nose? Your cells. Makes no sense. If people would just let go of the media, let go of everybody screaming all of this nonsense at them, and actually sit and use their brain and think, why are they testing for a respiratory disease like this? That makes no sense. The flu is not respiratory, is it? No. No, you have body aches and you have a fever. That's why because it's a virus. That you can get antibodies from anywhere. You can take antibodies from the blood tubular. If they really wanted the antibodies for it, they'd take a vial of blood out of your arm. They wouldn't be swabbing your nose. That's RNA, that's DNA. It's already written in all sorts of literature how they run the test. They take the RNA from the cells and they convert it to DNA. And how many false positives are they getting? Because they're doing it as a nose swab. You want to make antibodies? You take some blood. That's how you find out what kind of diseases people have. You run a blood smear. You take some blood out of somebody's arm and you run a blood smear and you see what kind of lymphocytes or neutrophils or basophils or any of those things are on a blood smear to figure out what kind of antibodies these individuals have, what kind of thing that they're fighting off. So that entire antibodies for the virus from taking a swab out of your nose, no, it's not a thing. I've been studying this for a year now, and that's not how finding antibodies or finding anything like that works. And when you have a respiratory disease or illness like bronchitis or pneumonia, and they listen to your lungs to figure out the sound that it is, because they're different sounds, okay? So bronchitis is more of like a wheezing sound and pneumonia is a crackling sound. These are things that they teach you to listen for because of the way the fluid gets in the lungs and makes those sounds. So if this is truly a respiratory illness, regardless of whether it's upper respiratory or lower respiratory, you listen to the lungs. You don't swab their nose. It's not a thing that you do. So they're taking this and they're testing people's DNA. Now, can they use that DNA later on to find out if they have antibodies for it? Yes, because they have your DNA. But it's probably more cost efficient to take a small vial of blood out of somebody than it is to pay for this massively expensive test and shove a swab up your nose. How many millions and millions of blood tests do they run on people? When you're pregnant, you have to come in every 2 weeks and have blood drawn. I'm sure it doesn't cost that much. Heck, people who have diabetes can get blood that would be enough to go for a blood smear on a prick, a finger prick. You could do it at home. the entire thing, if you sit back and actually think about it and you understand how the body works and how things are presented to you, as far as respiratory illnesses are concerned, or viruses, or massive diseases are concerned, then you understand the testing and where you need to test and how you need to test in order to verify that. Just where I'm coming from. Now, I go to college and I learn this material. Is it correct? I don't know. I'm listening to somebody telling me that that's the correct way to do it. So, could they all be wrong? They're going off of what they read in a book or what somebody else told them. Who knows? How do we know? We only know what we're being told or being taught. And it's all an institution to make money, right? You don't send your kid to school for a couple of days and the school's on the phone like, oh my goodness, you have to send your kid to school because we're going to lose our state aid. Money. Money, money, money. Everything is a corporation. We are incorporated into society. And we're fed all of this crap and told that's the way that it is. And you can't think anything else because that doesn't go along with the proper way. No. I'm going to be a free thinker and I'm going to think what I want to think. And if somebody doesn't like it, that's too bad. Indoctrination instead of education. Exactly. You know what education is? Education is taking your children to the grocery store and explaining to them how to buy meat. Okay, so if it's 70 cents a pound and this is 1.86 pounds, how much money should they be charging for that? Are they charging you the appropriate amount based on how much they're charging per pound? Those are things you need to teach your children. Teach them how to cook. Teach them how to read, because half of them can't read. Teach them how to make things. Sew, crochet, knit, quilt. Anything ever happens and they don't have underwear or socks, they can make it. The best education are hands-on technological schools, where every single thing is hands-on and absolutely nothing is ridiculous stuff that you don't need to know. Unless you're going to be an algebra teacher or you're going into building trades and you need to know about triangles and squares and all of that kind of stuff to be able to square it in your head and figure out how much material you need, you don't need that crap. You need the information that you need to do the job that you're looking to do. That's the information that you need, not all of the other BS that they're throwing on everybody else continuously. And now I got myself off into a rant. So back to the testing thing. Oh, I already talked about this too. About the whole, unless you actually are witnessing it happening, is it really happening? No. No, Bill, they do not teach that kind of stuff. I was homeschooled for like a year and a half, 2 years, and I learned more in that time that I was homeschooled than I did the entire time that I was in school. I didn't learn anything in school, except for back in kindergarten. And that was share my toys, and play nice, and clean up after yourself, and how to color inside the lines, and basic math. I'm not even going to go there with that. No, my children cannot write or read cursive. It's ridiculous. So, on to my next topic. That's kind of sort of blah, but majorly important. And then we're going to go to some positivity. And then we're going to go to some different ways of spreading positivity. I guess we'll put it that way. Okay. How many of you guys, I know you've heard of it, but have you actually researched Event 201? I'll wait until the chat catches up because this is important information. Can you please go lay down? I will play with you after. Stop it. No, you guys have not heard of Event 201. Okay, well, you're about to get your socks blown off, okay? Have you actually... Government propagates BS. Look at the snakes or the snail or any form of life. They know what they need to do to liberate Jews without taking it. They're still here. You've seen the videos of it. Okay. So let me break down for you because I did a lot of research on it, about 2 hours today. And right, so that's what I want to... Right, but there's way more to it. Yes, it is a rabbit cage. That's Delilah. You know, like the song, Hey There, Delilah. That's my Delilah. Well, it's really Bree's Delilah, but she stays up here with me. Anyway, so Event 201. You guys know, those of you who have heard of it, it was not only just put on by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, but Johnson & Johnson was a part of it. There were giant CEOs that were a part of it, that a couple from China. There were major CEOs from companies here in the United States, the World Health Organization, and there was one other really important one that I did not write down. So, here we go. This was held in New York City on October 18th of this past year. So, November, December, January. Ooh, and it broke out about exactly 3 months later, okay? You're not going to believe what I am about to tell you, okay? I need to calm myself down before I get into this because I am so like, ugh. It was a high-level pandemic exercise that occurred when I stated of a novel zoonotic coronavirus. So for those of you who do not know, zoonotic means a virus that can travel from an animal to a human. Now, originally, from what they're saying, this virus has been seen in these wet markets forever, because they've been selling these not so healthy animals forever. So this virus made it almost like that, even though they've seen it for years, go from an animal to another animal, and then from an animal to a human, and then human to human. Literally within a week, it was able to multiply itself that much, supposedly. That's not how it works, okay? For anybody that understands anything that has to do with parasites or anything, viruses, anything that has to do with that, that is not how it works. It takes a long time to just evolve from one stage to the next, to mutate, to be able to, and I've gone over this before, to be able to live in that host, okay? It's an accidental host, essentially. So when it went from a bat to a pig, let's say, as an example, it wasn't able to deal with the environment of the pig because it was so different from the environment of a bat. So it would have immediately jumped out of the pig and tried to find another bat again so that it could survive because that's the environment that it's used to. So then it goes, hey, you two. So then it went from the bat originally to the pig, and then it went from the pig to the human through consumption. And it mutated like that. Again, going from the pig, once it adapted to the pig, which would have taken way longer than, just a couple of days to get used to that environment, to be able to use it as a host that it could use and thrive. Then it went to a human, which is a completely different host than a pig. Supposedly all this happened, right? Okay, so that's the explanation of how zoonotic works. No, we are not eating Delilah. She is my pet. I am an animal lover, enthusiast, everything. I'm not a big meat eater other than chicken and bacon. I love chicken and bacon. Maybe I should get some chickens and a couple pigs. Brian would kill me if I had pigs and chickens in the backyard in the middle of town. Plus, I'd probably get a zoning ordinance or something. So we're not going to go there. But I mean, if I have to, I'll find somebody's chicken and kill it. I do know how to do that. And pigs, because I've done a couple pig roasts in my time. Anyway, so it was supposed to be early warning system. All of my animals are part of the early warning system. I don't know about you guys. Have you been paying attention to your animals? Anybody that has pet animals? Mine have been acting super weird the past couple of days. Yes, I know I've had rabbit before. I don't want to discuss it. I had a rabbit stew. But it was not a Lapu-Apsu rabbit, which is what she is with the flop ears. It was a wild rabbit. Okay, so back to, we're getting distracted, guys. I'm getting distracted. Let me take a drink, then we'll continue. Okay. Why is it that everybody knows when mom says, hey, everyone knows they're about to get it and stand at attention? Yes. Well, one of them laid down. The other one's pacing back and forth. Do you want to come over here and say hi to everybody so you can get it out of your system? Hi. Zeus says hi. Everybody says hi to Zeus. Okay. Big kisses now. Down. Okay, go lay down. Yeah. Okay. Yuck, dog kisses. So this was a novel zoonotic coronavirus. Now we're still talking about Event 201, which is what they were talking about at this pandemic preparedness meeting. It gets better. Okay. First of all, they said there that this supposed virus would be transmitted by bats. Really? You couldn't think of any other animal that it would supposedly be transmitted by? It had to be transmitted by a bat? Really? That's convenient. And they also said that they were going to come out with an antiviral drug that would only work on those individuals who were sick. And it sounded an awful lot like the drug that they have just come out with. This, I'm not even going to bother saying it. Yet another red flag. Came out of a wet market in China. Really? So we have the bats, we have the wet markets, we have China. Sounds a whole lot coincidental. Okay, if there's one thing, maybe I could give it to you. But all of it? Really? And you're going to tell us you had no idea this was coming, that this was not something that was pre-planned. Yes, everybody's been talking about Contagion. I've never seen the movie Contagion. I'm going to have to watch it now, though. Wouldn't the libtards go crazy if they said it was transmitted by a unicorn? Oh, good grief. Yeah, I've heard a lot of the similarities. Again, predictive programming. They have to tell you ahead of time before it actually happens. So you guys need to start watching the stuff that's coming out now, because that's going to be coming out in the next couple of years, and it's going to be something we're living through, because that's just how it works. Or watch The Simpsons. That's always a telltale sign of what's to come. They're usually right on it. They also said in this pandemic preparedness meeting, cases would double every week. It would spread all over the world within a couple of months. And they also came out with a series on Netflix called Explained, where they went through the entire scenario, almost identical to exactly what is happening now. You want to tell me it wasn't something that was already pre-planned to happen? Whether it's actually happening or not. The events that are occurring, disrupting everyday lives, I don't consider it a disruption. I've been practicing social distancing my entire life. I don't even like people. So I'm fine with it. Regardless of whether it's something that's occurring or not, it's causing disruptions, right? We're all home. We're all doing our thing at home. Here's what I want you guys to take away from this, okay? So we're done with all the crazy negativity, nastiness, and now let's get into some of the positivity. We are creatures of love, right? We're supposed to be able to love one another and care for one another and do nurturing and positive things for each other. That's what makes us the human race, right? Being able to have a collective consciousness, to work together to solve problems, to communicate with one another, and do those kind of things. We have lost who we are. We've lost who we are, because I think a lot of it has to do with the negativity of the world that we've been living in for so long. No matter where you go or what you do, there's always seems to be some type of rat race associated with it. Time, always worried about beating the clock, no focus on family, unitedness, togetherness, common collectiveness. We've become so independent as a society, we don't have connections with other people. Not in the sense of the way that we're supposed to have connections with other people, right? So here's where I'm going to go off on the deep end. So bear with me. But it does make a lot of sense. So we are all energy, right? So I know that a lot of you have felt this, and I feel it all the time. You walk into a room and you just feel negative energy, right? Coming from people or whatever, just bad vibes coming at you, right? And makes you not want to be in that environment. Or if one person in your household is in a really bad mood, it kind of brings everybody else's moods down, right? But if somebody's super happy, it brings your happiness level back up. So I have been spending a lot of my time focusing on looking inside of who I am and trying to better myself, center myself, stop racing around, stop doing things by a set time, just kind of going with the flow, because I'm always very wound up individual who's always gotta get this done. And I have taken this time to stop doing those kind of things and focus on the parts of myself that I lost over the past probably 10 years, 15 years. I used to be this really happy, energetic happy-go-lucky individual, not a care in the world. And then I became super stressed and super irritated with everything, super mad about everything. So I started to lose myself. You almost lose pieces of yourself. So I'm trying to take this time to gain those pieces of myself back. And if somebody in my house is in a bad mood, I'm not going to acknowledge that. I might say, dude, why are you so crabby? Or why are you in such a bad mood? Energy, frequency, vibration. Exactly. We are all light. We are all energy. We are all vibration, frequency. Plug your ears and tell me what you hear. You hear a high-pitched, well, most of you should hear a high-pitched buzz. That is your higher frequency. We've lost everything about ourselves. Everything. As a human race, and I'm not talking individually, I'm talking about as a human race. We've become so self-serving almost. Yes, a lot of us still go out of our way to help other individuals. And yes, a lot of us, the healing frequency, yeah, we need to be able to get the light from ourselves and radiate that light. Radiate that light onto others, radiate that light onto ourselves. I literally lay in my bed at night, totally flat, and I think of my head all the way down to my toes, and I get rid of the negative energy from the day because it's always piling on you. I mean, look at my shoulders. They're not straight, like they're very slouched. I will have to work on my shoulders tonight. Like, you have to remove that negative crap, and you can feel yourself removing that negativity from your body. It's amazing. I guess some people call it meditation. I don't actually call it meditation. I call it healing. I just heal myself pretty much from within. YouTube is messing with me, Smitty. I put this live stream notification up at 5:30. It wasn't until right before I went on that it actually showed up. Yes, grounding, Ginger, walking barefoot outside, becoming one with the earth. That's very important. And unfortunately, it's been super wet here. So I haven't been outside to walk barefoot because I don't want my feet all disgusting muddy, but I might just do it anyway. I'm gonna take Zeus for a walk on Monday, so I might just walk him barefoot. Yeah, Marla, negative people too. If they're people that will, there's a lot of times that people in my household are in a bad mood, and I'll be like, why are you in such a bad mood? And then they don't answer me, and then I let it go. Get it out of your mind. Don't even think about it. Don't acknowledge it. Just keep radiating positivity from yourself. Almost like a force field, to block that crap. Because I don't want that stuff in me. I don't want to be thinking about it. I saw it here at around. Oh, well, that's good. It wasn't showing on my side. And then last week, remember, they're taking me down all the time. I've talked about way more tonight than I did last week. But we have been discussing how the algorithms are not catching things the way that they were before. So that's good. Cool. White Family Homestead. I will have to look you up and then I can join your live stream. I'm sorry. I don't know why, but I've been super tired lately too. Ugh, I hate it. 396 hertz, turning grief into joy, liberating guilt and fear. 417 hertz, undoing situations and facilitating change. 528 hertz, transformation and miracles. DNA repair. Huh. Well, that's just it. It's all about your level of frequency, how high you can vibrate, essentially. So that's what we need to work on. You need a good massage. No, because I went for a massage for my birthday last year, and I threw up after it. So putting all that crap on my body, oil. Hey, all the oils and stuff that they use, and the scents in there, my body was too much chemicals. I can't take it. Like I only use like an unfragranced, unscented lotion because my body does not like anything with like scents in it. It's super sensitive. So, and you want to keep that crap out of your body anyway. You don't want to put any of that crap. Hey, JJ. Long time no see, man. Yeah, Norman. Everything's on The Simpsons. You want to know what's coming? Just watch The Simpsons, man. Yes, yuck, chemicals. Well, everything has chemicals in it. Unless you're growing it yourself with soil that you didn't get at a store and you know it doesn't have chemicals in it, because either way. Sorry, that was really loud to you guys. Lay down and stop antagonizing her. Now. He's such a brat. Holy cow. Okay, guys. So that's just really all I wanted to talk about tonight, was the way that we need to get back to doing better for ourselves, looking within, I also want to discuss this too. So we kind of touched on it a little bit, but take this time and learn new skills, do something different. Sometimes even a skill that we already know, brushing up on it. Let's say you know how to do your own canned goods, but you haven't done it in 5 years. Do it again. Or you know how to make homemade bread, like myself, and you haven't done it in forever. Do it again. Or if you know how to plant a really good garden and you know there's somebody, a neighbor of yours or somebody in your family that you know that wanted to take up gardening and they haven't been able to because everything's been so crazy up until now, teach them, offer to teach them, how to start up a garden. We all know somebody who has something that they want to learn, and we all have skills that we can give to those people, or skills that we already know that we can do better at. Practice makes perfect, right? That's always been the saying. So just because you know how to do something, mean you can't always perfect it or do better at it. I suck so bad at knitting. I knit so loose. So I need to start practicing my knitting, get them tighter. I crochet super tight. So I need to work on crocheting a little bit looser. I can't quilt to save my life. So maybe I should sit down and watch some YouTube videos and actually teach myself how to quilt, because I think it would be amazing to be able to make a handmade quilt for my bed or my daughter's bed. These are things that not only we can work on ourselves while we're doing them, because if you're in a quiet environment and you're just knitting or crocheting or gardening or something and you don't have any distractions, you can kind of think about things, actually think about different things. Or you can teach valuable lessons to other people, valuable skills that people don't know, that people want to know, that people just haven't had the time to learn. So those are really important things I want you guys to take away. We all have something that we know how to do, but we could do it better. You can always do everything better. Think about the fact that Trump jammed masks to go Canada, and Canada gave to US the raw material to do them. I don't really watch a whole lot of stuff that goes on in the news anymore. It was bringing me down. The news was bringing me down. Ivermectin. Ivermectin is an amazing drug. Let me just tell you right now. It works very, very well in a lot of the parasites, common parasites that we see in small animal species. And believe it or not, in small animal species, they give a lot of human medications to small animal species. And there are a lot of medications, clearly, that can go vice versa. You can use some animal medications in a human. You just have to adjust the dosage based on the weight. And doing the conversion is super simple. You can do it in your head. Um, so yeah, I would not be surprised. But I'm curious as to how that would work. Is this indeed a parasite? I mean, a virus can be considered a parasite, right? But I don't know. I'll have to do some research on it because I know a lot about ivermectin tubular, and I think that's very interesting information. So I'm going to do some research on it. Maybe I'll shoot out a video or something that has to do just with that. Um, so we'll see. Fan, I hope I'm saying that right. I want to thank you. I don't actually say that name. I believe in a creator, I guess, a divine individual, a light being per se. I don't call him, I call him the one. So I'm going to say, may the one give you all the love you deserve. So we should all be giving each other love, regardless of whether we know each other physically or not. It doesn't matter. We're all human. We're all part of the same species. We're all on this planet to be having experiences and helping each other out. And we need to be spreading positivity and love. We need to let go of all the negative crap. And we need to just constantly be spreading love all the time. Learn how to do it. Learn how to actually sit there. And I know I've said this in a video before. Look up the individual, I don't remember his name, who actually did the experiment where he had put different letters or something in water, and he spoke love in one and hate in the other, and then he let them sit. And one like made this beautiful, like, I think it was ice. It was like water droplet. I don't know, something. I think he put it in the freezer, water droplets. He spoke to it and said love and hate and put them in the freezer. And then one grew these amazing, beautiful crystals. The one from love, and the one that was hate was like this nasty, mushy stuff. Look that up. Look that up and look that up and I was just reading a comment, sorry. And check out that video because that says a lot about the capabilities of the human psyche, and our abilities to be able to spread love. So, and it's not even a speaking thing; it's a thinking thing. Um, because again, I will say, when you get close to somebody, close enough, and maybe the 6 feet apart thing. Here's another thing I want to end on. This just popped into my head, and I'm surprised I didn't think of it before because I was thinking of it the other day and didn't write it down. 6 feet apart from each other means that your auras, anybody who knows about auras, which I'm sure most of you do, um, your auras can't connect. Can you imagine if every single human thought love and was in close proximity to each other? The amount of vibration, energy, amazing force that would have on the planet. Imagine that. So maybe the social distancing thing, because they know that, um, and they know that during some type of a crisis such as this, especially one that's worldwide, would have people in mass groups coming together to help one another, communities coming together, all that kind of stuff. So they know that having people 6 feet apart isn't going to allow our energies to connect. Food for thought. Take that away. Ponder on it. Let me know what you come up with. Leave me some information in the comments because I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on that whole thing. I also want to know anybody who hasn't watched those videos about speaking love and speaking hate. Let me know what you think because they're amazing. Amazing. The things that we can do as a human species, I've been doing a lot of research on that too. We've been suppressed in so many ways of the things that we are capable of doing. It literally makes me sick. So that's a lot of stuff that you could research and look into as well. Um, I think they're important things to take away. And I also think they're important things to do as a race, as a species, as an individual. It's an individualized journey. Yes, you have your family, and yes, you have your connections, but everybody has to do their own individual work to get to the person that they want to be. So, on that note, it was great talking to you guys all tonight. And as always, always remember everything does happen for a reason. So, whether you were having a great day or you were having a crappy day, it's all going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Like I said, make the best of everything. Try to always be happy. Try to always spread love. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So, I'll talk to you later. Have a good night, guys. Bye.